is first of today's arrivals. We've got a Commodore 64. Looking very, very dirty, as you can see. It was an eBay pickup. It was quite cheap. You can see the amount of muck around it, so we're going to have to give it a good clean. So that's item number 1 for today, which has been delivered, as I said, come from eBay. It's been delivered by Royal Mail this morning, quite speedy postage. And now I'm going to set off now and go up to another little town that's local to myself, and then we're heading over to a shop where I've picked up another Commodore 64. So best get off and let's get going. So we're on our way to Trek and go get a second pickup of the day. Once we get there, I'll pop the video back on when we get there. I don't think you want to watch us recording all the way travelling there. So here we are at GameStop. Unfortunately I've got a dilemma. The pub. Do I go in the pub or do I go to GameStop? Pub, GameStop. I think pub will be there later, won't it? Let's go into GameStop. So here we are in Gamesave. Finally got it right. I've been here quite a lot. It's quite a good little shop. We've got a lot of things for sale here. Unfortunately the video cut out while I were in there, so I lost pretty much what we were clipping in there to add a tag to it. But check Gamesave out in Halifax. He's a really nice fella, looks after you well, doesn't particularly charge the earth, doesn't agree with eBay prices, etc. and stuff like that, so he's very, very, very fair. I've bought quite a lot of consoles off him in the past, a lot of computers, calling there for my retro games from time to time. I've not been in for a long time because obviously we've had COVID. As you can see on the screen there, that's the Commodore 64 that we're purchasing. This is pickup 2. It does have its box, which has just disappeared in the back to go get the box. And then we'll back down to the car, pop it into the boot, and I'll have a look and see what we picked up. So here we are at the car, and this is what we've picked up today, up at the Gamesave shop. So I've ended up picking up the Chase HQ cartridge while we was there. Sorry about the camera dithering around a little bit, I've no tripod while we're out on the road. We ended up getting this cheetah joystick that came with it. The Commodore looks quite nice, does want a bit of a clean up, but other than that it's quite nice. I do like these orange keys. These are a reminder of me when I were younger. When I've got it back and opened it up, we've got some other little bits. So we've got like a Commodore graphics compendium, just shows you how to create sprites, etc. and things like that, so that's nice to have that with it. We've also got this little manual here that doesn't belong to it really. This belongs to the Commodore 64 GS game system, which was a console type Commodore which flopped. They're quite sought after at the moment. Inside the box was a tape deck. Unfortunately one of the tape counter trip buttons has broken off at the top, so he just threw that in anyway, and he gave me this other one to go with the Commodore. So that's what we've picked up so far, and get heading back home. So we'll see you back there. And as you can see on this still shot at the moment, this is what we've picked up today. We've picked up 2 Commodore 64s, 2 tape decks, joystick, and there was a couple of little magazines and things inside there as well, which you saw in that little earlier video. I'll pop it back up again now for you, as you can see. So what I've done is I've packed the other stuff away because we don't need it. What I'm going to do now is just plug these in and see whether they work. So the back one, or should I say the one at the back that you can see at the moment, that's the one that I purchased off eBay. You saw that on pickup 1. The one in the front with the orange keys is the one that I've picked up from Gamesave over in Halifax. It does have a few more which I've reserved. I'll be picking them up again at a later date. You want to take a look at his shop, and if you can get over there and go see him, he's a nice fella. He doesn't charge mega bucks like the eBay prices, etc. and things like that. He's very fair. I've used him for quite a lot of years, to be honest. So yeah, just check him out. It's Gamesave over in Halifax. I'll pop a picture up and you can have a look. So let's get back to this. First up, I'm going to plug in the one that I've got from eBay, which was the pickup 1. And I'm going to test it with the Chase HQ cartridge game, which I picked up today from the Gamesave. Wasn't expecting that when I turned up, but it was there. It was a reasonable price, so I picked that up as well. So I'm just going to move pickup 2 out of the way at the moment. So I'll move that one out of the way. This one, I've got the video. I'll pop it back up again, you can have another look. It's very dirty. You can see down there's a lot of grunge. I don't know whether you can see on the camera very well. Well, the grunge is dirty, it just wants a general clean round. So I'm just going to plug that in now and let's see if it works first. So I'll be plugging it in with a brand new power supply. It's quite nice in there, everything's in there. Got the cartridge there. A little instructor and booklet. So I'm just going to switch it on now and see if it works. And yeah, it's lit up. Just try and focus in on that a bit for you. So yeah, it's lit up. We've got flashing cursor. That's good. Everything's all alright there at the moment. I'm going to turn it off now, put the cartridge in. Turn it back on. And we should have Chase HQ. So joystick port 2, we'll have that one. My glasses. Just find my glasses to put on because I can't see without them. So yeah, so press fire. We'll skip past that bit. I think this is picking a car or something like that maybe. We just have to wait while the writing finishes. So it doesn't take too long to start up with the cartridge, they're pretty much instant as you can see. Controls, joystick seems to be going alright, slow down, speed up. I can shoot from it as well apparently. So that's good stuff. We've got pickup number 1 that's running perfectly fine. The sound sounds pretty good. I'm not doing very well on here though. I have to go left. Don't know what the firing's about. Maybe we're supposed to catch up to somebody. It's been a long time. Doop, 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 doop. See if we can catch up to the baddies. Maybe not. So yeah, that's okay. So the joystick's working all okay. That's a Cheetah Annihilator joystick. Doesn't look like there's any rapid fire or anything on there. Yeah, that looks all okay. Let's just check the keyboard on the Commodore, make sure that works. Pop the cartridge out. Click the switch again. Back arrow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Outside. All the top row keys work okay. Arrow keys seem to work okay. Next row. All them look okay. Can't do anything. That should unshot restore. That works on there. Shift lock. Yep, that changes the shift lock. We've got A, D, S, F, G, F. All them keys look there working. Commodore key, press something. Yeah, that worked. We know that shift worked, and the rest of the keys are press the bottom. And space. So yeah, so that's pickup number 1. It's quite nice, very dirty. I'll do that in another video of a clean up and restore of that one. It does look a bit yellow on the top, so I might even go retro bright, but we'll have a look at that when I've given it a clean up first. You never know, it might just be a load of film that's on it or something like that. So yeah, so that's the first one done. So here's the other one. This one looks a lot cleaner. A few little marks on the back. but it does look a lot cleaner. It is still dirty, it does want to clean, but the keys look very clean. When I look down in between the keys, it looks very clean on the end of the keyboard. So I'm hoping this one's going to be as good as the one we've just picked up from eBay. I'm not going to do Chase HQ on this one. I'll put the Gideon's Ultimate in. Just start that one up. Let's boot it straight into the cartridge. Okay. Keyboard feels okay, feels very good, good response to it. Sorry if my arm's stuck in the way there. To test. So I'm going to start this Donkey Kong up because it sounds nice and I just want to hear that SID chip, make sure it's running okay. So I'm going to mount the disc, fast load. I'm going to let that load. So again, this one's started up nice. Looks nice and clean on the screen. Don't really want to play anything on this one, I just want to listen to this music and see what it sounds like on there. Yeah, that sounds okay. What I'm normally listening for is like popping sounds at end of tones and things, and how much the bass has got grunt in it. You can usually actually tell which SID chip model and make and revision that they are when you listen to them, when you've listened to that many of them. I know in the first one, that sounds like 6581, original revision. I've not looked in there, but I'd say it is. I've not looked in this one at all, but this one's got an original SID in there as well. It's not a Swin SID or anything like that that's in there. I'm going to pop these open shortly, just to have a quick look and see what's inside. Won't be long, I'm just going to lift the tops and have a look to see what is actually in there. Let's see if we can get a game running on this one, just to see make sure the sprites and everything are working properly. I'm not going to play this one because it doesn't do much really on the graphics side. So we've got Ghostbusters running, I don't know whether you can hear that. I'll turn the sound up a little bit. Ghostbusters! So I'd say again, looking inside pickup number 2, I would say that's definitely an original SID. I've got a feeling it might be a revision 1, but I'm not sure really. And the reason why I know it's got an original one in there is because the Ghostbusters, when it shouts, is normally very quiet. And some SID chips, when they lose the filters, it goes really quiet to a point where it's like whispering at you, is that Ghostbusters shout. But this one, as you can tell when I pick the spacebar, quite loud and sharp. So yeah, so that's great, absolutely cracking. We've picked up 2 Commodore 64s, both working fine. One of them's boxed, a couple of tape decks, Chase HQ cartridge, which I've been looking for a while to pick up a relatively cheap one. So all in all, it's been quite a good day. So we're over at bench, and this is the pickup number 1. You can tell that because it's dirty. You can see it grime, can't you? You can just see it grime down there, it's minging. It really is, it's horrible to touch. So, like I said earlier, I'm going to do a video on that one of a strip down, clean down, see what it's like after that. But first of all, I just want to flip it over and take a look inside and see if there's anything untoward, or whether anybody's butchered anything, or whether it's perfectly fine. And see what that SID chip revision is. So it doesn't take much to screw these down, there's only little 3 screws at the end. My usual trick is just to leave the screws in, put it to the back, tip it forward, and the screw should fall on the mat. And it lies, it jumps off. Just put them in that corner out of the way so it's not scratching anything. So I'm going to lift this up gently now. See what we've got. Pull that off, just take the keyboard connector off. And we can lift that out of the way and have a quick look on the way back. Yeah. It's got some broken tags up here. There's one very weak on that brake, enough to come off there. I can just move it with my nail. That one's quite secure. That one's secure. That one's secure. I'm thinking about buying a 3D printer soon anyway, so I might make some new mount brackets for them and do a video on that to show you how to make them and how to attach them onto the back there to make that secure. So that's not too much of an issue. So what have we got inside? We have got a revision 250407 and we have a SID chip of a 6581. No revisions, it's an early 6851, which is what I thought it was going to be. When I'm looking on the chips on here, I can see the dates on there. On the SID it's got 27th week of 83. The PLA's 27th week of 83. The CPU is 24th week 83. Character kernel basic. Ooh. Nope, they're about the same again. 83, 13th week. Yep, they're all 83. What I was doing at is I was just looking at the kernel there and I mixed it up. I was looking to see if it were revision 1. So this one's got a 901.227 revision 2 kernel in there. If I remember rightly, the kernel revision 1s had a little bug on them. Well, if it did something, it went strange on screen. But if I ever find one, a revision 1, I'll have a look into that and do a video on that one. Same with the CIAs, 26 week 83. So I would say it's pretty much a standard board is this one. I'm just going to take the Victin shield off. I can get in. And we've got a ceramic Vic. And what revision that one is. I don't like touching that stuff. I'm going to do it anyway. So having a quick look at that revision on that one. It's a 6569. Use PAL anyway. 6567 is NTSC. So this is a 6569 revision 1 ceramic Vic chip. Really nice. I like them little ceramic Vic chips. I don't know what it is about them ceramics. It's just something about it. Might be the youth in me or something like that, because it's gold on the side there. I'll just smudge that heatsink paste around. It did feel still good. It wasn't hard or anything like that. So I'll put that back on, and that's that done. Everything else looks nice and clean. Everything's soldered to the board except for the SID, which makes it very hard to try and change things if you wanted to swap chips out if it goes faulty or anything like that. But we've got covering videos on that that'll show you how to do all that if you need to do that. But as this one's working, there's no need for me to do anything remotely like that to this board, so it's all nice and working. So I'm just going to pop the top back on now. So as if by magic, it's all back together. Right, so I'm just going to move this one out of the way now, and we'll pull out as pickup number 2, the one that we picked up from Gamesave Halifax. And here's pickup 2, the one that's got a nice little case on there, a little bit bruised in places, battle scars, and these lovely orange keys. I've got an obsession with these orange keys. I'm sure it's OCD. I think it's just because it's what I used to have when I was a child. I used to have orange keys on mine, so you think that's just why it pulls me towards them. So again, I'm just going to flip this one over. Again, I've just taken them through the screws out. I'm just going to lift the back up. You can hear it creaking. There's some little hinges at the back. that just snap out of place. And if you look at this one now on the board, this one's got big catches on the back as opposed to the other one that had little ones, so it's a little bit more newer revision board. This one's got a nice metal heat shielding as well, that you don't normally see very much. So just lift the keyboard out of the way again. Interesting. I wonder what Vic's in there then. Don't normally see these metal shieldings, ones like this. They're the only ones that really have these big metal shieldings. And especially if it's got one soldered to the bottom. I don't think this one has. They're usually American that's got these metal things, and we've normally got that little bit of cardboard paper thing that people throw away. You can see in this one it's actually got the strands that come down, touch the Vic. Supposed to touch the SID. Doesn't. That one's touching up on PLA. That one's miles away from the CPU. These are on the kernel basics and characters, and you've got the CIAs underneath here that don't have anything touched on them at all. So for me to have a look inside here to see what's in it, I need to take that shielding off. There's a screw down here, one at the bottom, two at the bottom, one there, and I think that's it. Can I see? 1, 2, 3, there's one there, 4. As you can see, you've seen my videos, I've done quite a lot of these repairs on these Commodores, and I'm having to look to see where these screws are that's holding this shield down. That's how rare that I actually see these shields. So I'm just going to put them screws out now, and then we'll take a look inside it. So I've just popped them screws out now, and we can lift this tin shield off and see what we've got underneath. Ugh, that's mean. Get that clean off there. And clean off that. So I'm just going to use a little bit of isopropyl alcohol to clean that Vic off. And we can see what's going on. And we'll have a look at that SID in a minute. So, what have we got in here? So we've on a revision 50425 board. This is a little bit of a later revision when they took away all the electronics inside the area with the Vic. This is a 6569 revision 3. It's also got the 8701 clock timer chip there, which took away all that other. I'll pop a picture up and I'll just show you what that is. And it takes away all that circuitry and drops it all the way down to what we've got here. Some of these things you've got to be careful with these boards. Commodore's had a really nice trick of swapping things around. There isn't many boards this way around, but the other one, we look down here and it was had a socketed SID chip. That's not the SID chip on this one. That's the PLA chip. The socketed Vic chip, SID chip, is up here. As you can see, it's got a socket on it. They only attempt to socket the SIDs. But the other one, the PLA was there and the SID was here. So be careful of that. If you're ever playing with these boards, make note where U17 is for the PLA. I've fell short for it before and I've stuck a SID in a PLA socket and blown the SID to bits. Wasn't impressed. Stupid, dumb move to make. But you get a little bit lazy, especially when you're working on a lot of these boards and then the layouts are pretty much the same majority of the time. So it can catch you out. So always make sure that you look for U17, which is a PLA there. What did I say this revision was on this pickup 2 with the SID chip? Did I say 6581 revision 2? The first one was revision 1 because it doesn't have a revision on it. But I suspected that this one was revision 2-ish. I was wrong. It's a revision 3. So I won't far off, but I knew it were a newer SID than what the other ones were. Again, in this board, we've got all the socketed chips. This is a little bit of a later board. The PLA is 21st week 85. The SID's in keeping because it's 42nd week 85. So them two are a little bit older than what the rest of them are on the board, even though they're soldered in. The CPU is 43rd week 86. Let me look again. No, I'm wrong. Yeah, 85. CPU is 86. Basic, kernel, characters, they're all 85. The CIA's their 42nd week 85. So pretty much, I'd say it's an 85 build. Why is it 85? Well, the CPU, that must be my eyes. Oh, wrong. 85 on the CPU as well. So yeah, it's an 85 board is this one. Even though the VIC's got 84 in it. But it could be an earlier one than that. Even down to the clock time, and that's 41st week 85 as well. So I said that's about an 85 build board. So yeah, that's quite nice. Quite like that one. Doesn't have MT RAM. Doesn't have MOS logic, which is great. So yeah, it's a nice little board, that. Nice board. I like these with these up here. The later one, the 466 board, did away with a lot of this over this circuitry. You still have these little bits down here, but all the RAM disappeared and there were just 2 chips of RAM up here, which you saw that on my last video when I did the RAM upgrade on the 64G. So it dramatically reduced the boards down. That's what they did in these, on the back end of these long boards. And they turned it like this, shortened it down, shortened the board down again, put the RAM into 2 chips up at the top so they could reduce the size of the boards, production costs, time, etc. Things like that. So yeah. So I'm just going to put all these mammoth amounts of screws. I'm saying mammoth amount of screws, there's only 8. So I'm just going to pop all these back in now, and I'll come back to you as soon as it's all back together. So I just thought I'd come back on at the moment. What I've done is, because this has got a nice little heat sink in here, I've put extra thermal paste onto the VIC. I've put thermal paste down there onto the PLA, thermal paste onto the SID, CPU, and all the other character basic kernel ROMs. They're there, so it might as well have it on it. These ones didn't have anything on it, and they weren't even touching the chips. So I've just repositioned these to make them touch the chips a little bit better. And so yeah, so I thought I'd just help it a little bit. I know it doesn't do a great deal, but we've got a nice great big heatsink there with tags there. It'd be a shame not to use it. So I'm just going to pop the keyboard back together, and then I'll come back to you. So that's pickup number 2, all back together, looking really good. I'm going to give this one a clean up as well and all a bit later on, but it doesn't need too much on this one, so I'm going to put this back in its box, all packed up. Oh, I just noticed that coming off, so we'll bomb that back down. Pack it all back up, put it back in its box, and into storage until it needs to be needed or to be sold on in the future. Well, thanks for following me along today. I know it's been a bit of a different video. I've not really repaired much. I've just been out trekking around, picking up the lovely likenesses of the Commodore 64s. I will be going back over to Halifax in a couple of weeks to pick some more up, so I'll update you on that one. I've still got to look at Tony's Sega to continue with that. That should be coming up fairly soon. So yeah, thank you very much for watching another episode of 8-Bit Retro Refix. Bye!